Hello, I'm an old guy and I do maths. So, you've been having a look in the quadratic playlist and you've come across the quadratic formula, which you may have seen at school or somewhere else, and you're wondering exactly how does this thing work. Well, it works as follows. First of all, you need a quadratic trinomial in this form, ax squared plus bx plus c. And here's an example of one, x squared plus 5x plus 6. And the quadratic formula is written over here. So x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. Now, what are these numbers? What are these letters? Okay, if we come back to this equation here, a is 1. It is the number in front of x squared. B is 5, it's the number in front of x, and c is 6. It is, surprise, surprise, c on the end of the equation. So what we do is we fill the formula in appropriately. So b is 5, so negative 5 plus or minus the square root of b squared, 5 squared, minus 4 times 1 times 6, all over 2 times 1. And when we do a little bit of working, this is what we get for our trouble. Negative 5 out here, 5 squared is 25, this is negative 24, negative 4 times 1 times 6 is negative 24, all over 2, 2 times 1. So what we wind up with in here is the square root of 1. 25 minus 24 is 1. The square root of 1 is positive or negative 1. So tidying this up a little bit, we find that x is equal to negative 5 plus or minus 1 over 2. So we can write that out a little more neatly. X is equal to negative 6, that's negative 5 minus 1, negative 6 over 2, negative 6 over 2, which is negative 3. X could also be equal to negative 5 plus 1, which is 4 over 2. X could equal negative 2. Now a check is down here where we've factorized this quadratic in the more common way, because this I chose a quadratic that was easy to factorize. So it is x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now, to factorize this, we find the factors of 6 that add to 5, and they are 3 and 2. And so if you're familiar with factorizing quadratics, you'll recognize this. And from this, we can deduce that x is equal to negative 3 or negative 2, applying null factor law, which again you might well be familiar with. You should have seen all of this before you got to the quadratic formula at school. If you haven't, there are videos on it in the playlist. Now let's have a look at something a little more complicated. This is really what the quadratic formula was made for. We've got a fairly unpleasant looking quadratic here. It's in the right form, negative 3x squared plus 7x plus 2. Here is the formula. You fill it in as before. So negative 7 plus or minus 7 squared minus 4 times negative 3 times 2 all over 2 times negative 3. And when we do that, we get this. And with a little bit of tidying up, we discover that the number inside this radical, the square root sign, is 73. And so x is equal to negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 73 all over negative 6. You can imagine what a joy this would have been to factorize any other way. Okay, so there are two results, two solutions. Negative 7 plus root 73 over negative 6, or negative 7 minus root 73 over negative 6. And we can tidy this up. We can get rid of these these negative signs. And our solution is -7 plus or minus, so there are two solutions, the square root of 73 over 6. It's much, much easier than many other ways of factorizing such an unpleasant-looking quadratic. I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you next time. Bye.